broadcasting to viewers in Liberia and across the globe. Hello and a warm welcome to News Today on KMTV with me, Anthony Kokoi. We apologize for that technical breakthrough. Let's take a look at stories making headlines tonight. President George Weah stresses the need for unity in diversity, calls for joint effort in moving Liberia forward. Council of Patriots reschedule its July 24 protest for what we will be finding out. Liberian government and World Bank signed both grain and credit agreements to strengthen education and improve water supply in Liberia. We begin the program with President George Weah. President George Weah says development of Liberia requires the combined effort of every citizen. The Liberian leader noted that the success of the country can only be assured through togetherness, something he wants Liberians to embrace. Speaking at the Thanksgiving and intercessory prayer at the Jogertown Black Jinan Central Mosque, President Weah challenged citizens to be united in diversity.
Everything work. To win, we have to play together, we have to fight together to win. And I know that Islamic fundamental teaches us the value to respect human rights, the value to pray, the value to believe, the value to be resilient. It's not the value of war. Destruction. We are celebrating our 172nd Independence Day. The theme of the Independence Day, together we are stronger. So let us work together for the benefit of our nation and our people. We can all be successful work as a team. You have the human rights, you have the liberty. You protect your human rights and your liberty by doing the things that is in place. When you have the human rights, is to use it wisely. When you have the human right, is to develop yourself. So human right is not to get to the streets. Human right is to bring on the table the ideas that will develop yourself and your country. Let us make sure that we will not see any Liberian as a Mandingo or Muslim or Christian. We are all Liberians.
The Secretariat of the Liberia Crusader for Peace, organizers of the Golden Image Award, on Thursday climaxed the 9th edition of the event with the recognition of several national and international personalities. The 18th Carat Design Liberian Golden Image Award were presented to people who have contributed their time and resources to uplifting humanity and sustainable peace, that's sustaining peace and development among others. Serving as guest speaker at the awards night was U.S. Ambassador Christine Eddard, who expressed gratification for the step taken in the fight against domestic violence by the government.
It's really an honor to be here tonight to recognize the extraordinary efforts of individuals and organizations that have really brought positive change to Liberia in many areas of development, whether that's agriculture, security, health, education, and democracy. Each of these winners here tonight has helped build a positive legacy. So I'm truly proud to witness the celebration of their efforts, and I can't think of a more fitting way to begin Liberia's Independence Day commemorations. While I had the distinct honor of having been selected for the keynote address tonight, it's also a little bit of an awkward task, as this year's theme is domestic violence. No discussions of unicorns and rainbows tonight. It's what diplomats might call not polite dinner conversation, but it is a timely issue in Liberia and a critical issue that affects all countries. And I think actually it is a good day in Liberia to talk about domestic violence, because today we had the legislature, the Senate, pass the domestic violence bill. And it truly is a global problem that knows no boundaries. Certainly in the United States, Sweden, a number of other countries represented here today, we all still struggle with this issue. And I want everyone in this room to walk away tonight recognizing, while we note the individual achievements of many women, it reminds you every person can make a difference.
Well, speaking to reporters briefly at the ceremony was Liberia's Crusader for Peace, Executive Director Judy Endi.
It was a day to celebrate women who have contributed significantly to either women's development, women's leadership, education, the rule of law, democracy, arts and entertainment, and all of that. And it has been an overwhelming and an amazing night to have a president who will sit down, very selfless, and listen to everybody. And I just want to say thank you, and I just want to bless God that in this life, God is faithful. It has been a long journey to celebrate this year because we didn't have the resources to do so. But with faith, we're able to reach to where we reached, and we're able to do what we did. And just the smile on the faces of ordinary Liberian people, just that's the joy that I get, and I'm happy. Madam Sirleaf, I'm told she was not in country, or she just arrived. But Madam Sirleaf will always be remembered by the level of work and empowerment that she gave to women. And just the idea that she championed that gender equality, where women can stand up in UN Resolution 1325 to be protected, prevented, promoted, protected at all levels. As we go through the domestic violence bill, we are now waiting for someone to fall into trouble. What we want to do is engage the community to educate people that violence against women is unacceptable, and it has, legally you get into trouble.
Over now to the Ministry of Finance. The governor of Liberia and the World Bank have signed several projects aimed at strengthening the learning sector and improving the supply of water in Monrovia and its environment. The loan and grant agreement is in the tune of over $76 million United States dollars. Making remarks at the signing ceremony, World Bank Country Director Pierre Laporte said his institution attaches importance to the education sector because developing the human capacity is critical to national development.
On behalf of the World Bank family, I am particularly delighted to participate in the signing of these projects, which will strengthen the bank's support toward the education sector and improving the supply of water in Monrovia and its surroundings. The first of these two projects is the Improving Results in Secondary Education project, which is a $47 million idea grant, and the second, an additional financing of Liberian Urban Water Supply Project, funded through a combination of $24.7 million IDA credit and a $5.3 million grant. In regards to the Improving Results and in Secondary Education project, we consider this project to be very important because it will contribute to improving Liberia's human capital base, which is critical to the development of the country. Secondary education not only enables individuals to further enhance their learning, but it also makes them more productive, and in turn this increases the stock of more qualified labor to better meet the growing needs of modern market needs.
Well, Education Minister Professor Ansu Sonin has described the investment made by the World Bank as exceptional. He said the funds will be used properly with emphasis on girls' education.
emphasis have always been laid on early childhood development. That's true. But the education sector of this country has suffered significant deficiencies. And we believe that a consideration for the children who are in their teens, 15, 16, 18, in secondary schools, giving them some hope of preparing them for life after secondary school is one that we shall not forget. We want to promise that this loan will be transformative. It shall make such change that even the skeptics will wonder how it happened. We intend for every dollar of this amount to make sure that somebody's life changes. There is a specific consideration for girls to skill them from entry to exit, to ensure that not only the enrollment increases, but the retention is guaranteed and that they proceed to completion.
Meanwhile, Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation boss Duana Kamara made these remarks at the event.
Well, today's a great day for us. I remember a few months ago when I made the first trip to South Africa to campaign for this urban water help. When we had rapture on our major transmission line. And then when I informed Larissa, I got to South Africa, I met Maria and the new team, and I was able to display to them that the essence of your work in the country now, the expansion of water in all our cities. If the main transmission line can't get fixed, we're in trouble. And they saw the need immediately. We sat there, we discussed it, and then we did a follow-on discussion, DC along with the Minister of Finance, and we on forward, we got it approved. And I'm grateful today that the World Bank has brought some relief. There are more to come though, but this is the initial stage for our major transmission line. And just to let you know, the cost of the transmission line is around 52. But we discussed and said, look, let's start from somewhere. So the initial is now the 20 that is going in, and the extra 10 is for another line coming straight into Monrovia, which will be able to alleviate the many suffering we have in the city. We're grateful for the opportunity, and we're grateful for the help. I just want to say thank you, and thanks to the minister, and thanks to our president, and thanks to your team as well.
You're watching News Today, have an hour news presentation that brings you up to date with unfoldings in Liberia. My name is Anthony Kokoi. Stay ahead of us. The Council of Patriarchs has rescheduled its pronounced protest to July 31. This plus many more developments all coming up right after this break. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining. The Council of Patriarchs has rescheduled its pronounced protest to July 31. The gathering was scheduled to have taken place nationwide on July 24. This comes barely one day after the U.S. Embassy released a statement classifying the timing of its assembly as displaced. According to the Council of Patriarchs, the decision was taken due to what the organizers of the protest call respect for the treasured historical ties that exist between Liberia and the U.S. Henry Costa is the chairman of COP.
The COP has decided that out of respect for the treasured, traditional and historical ties enjoyed between our two countries, and what the United States government and its people have done and continue to do for our country, and how the Americans have always championed human rights, democracy. Even in our disagreements, the Americans have always been there for us. Whenever a Liberian man stumbles his toe and falls, he shouts, America. Whenever there's trouble, he shouts, America. And so because of that, we have to respect what they've said. So because of that, we've decided to move the date of the protest from July the 24th to July the 31st. Let me repeat, we have decided to move the date of the protest from Wednesday, July the 24th to Wednesday, July the 31st. And the protest will remain as we had planned. It will be a nationwide protest across the country, in capital cities, in Banga, in Ganta, in Vanjama, in Buchanan, in Mansorado, and we will come out peacefully as we did on June 7th in our numbers, thousands and thousands of people across this country, and we will protest non-stop until our demands are heeded, until the president can call a press conference or whatever it is, a pre-recorded message, and tell the Liberian people that he has received officially our demands as contained in our petition statement, and that he is going to begin to work on them. We will not stop until we see results.
Well, Costa also called on like minds to boycott the July 26th celebration because according to him, there is nothing to celebrate. His statement was flanked by Representative Yeke Koluba.
On 26th day, why we also thank the Americans for stating in the final paragraph of her statement that national events should be devoid of partisan promotion and political posturing. Do not use national programs to have party celebrations. That's what the American ambassador said in her statement. That advice is to the president and his people. We hope the president and his people will take heed, and Independence Day, when they go and throw their big parties, they will celebrate by themselves, because I know they will not take heed. And we, the well-meaning Liberians who are hurting, who are suffering, we should stay home. We should, if we have food, we should cook and eat. If you have a little more, share with your neighbors. Sit and reflect on how difficult a situation we find ourselves in. Pray if you must, but let us not join them to merry-make, for there is nothing to merry-make about.
We are not going to disrespect the American government. When the embassy speaks, that means the American government has spoken. So we will never, anybody that will get involved in disrespecting any authoritative, any people that come from the American embassy, I'm going to distance myself from you. We are going to tell, we are telling our people to keep home. Don't start any celebration. We are calling on our Muslim brothers, our Muslim supporters, to not go to that mosque today, because this government want to use the presence of the Muslim community to let Buhari know that this government is working well with the Muslim community. And we say no. When this government wanted to relieve Cabinet General of his post, they did consult the Muslim community. We say no, that is a disrespect to the Muslim community. This government is not in the interest of the people. That's the reason why we will protest. They protest with the peaceful protest, and we're going to be very peaceful. If anybody thinks you'll be violent, you're wasting your time. It's going to be peaceful. Anything that will become violent, I will not be a part. Because I will not be in the business of making our people to run. I'm not in the interest of doing it.
And in sports, the national football team of Liberia, the Lone Star, have been paired against Chad in the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations qualification preliminary rounds. The draw was held on Thursday, July 18 in Cairo, Egypt. Liberia is among 8 teams that were seeded in Pot 5 based upon their June 2019 FIFA ranking. The Red, White and Blue boys were ranked 153rd according to the June 2019 FIFA Coca-Cola ranking. The first leg of the preliminary rounds is scheduled for October 7, 2019, while the return leg will take place on October 15, 2019. If Liberia qualify, they will be placed in Group A, where Mali, Guinea, and Namibia have been joined. Well, on that sporting development, that's how we go home on this weekend's edition of KMTV News Today. But before we go, a recap of our headlines. President George Weah stresses the need for unity in diversity, calls for a joint effort in moving Liberia forward. Council of Patriots reschedules a July 24 protest. Liberian government and World Bank signed both grant and credit agreements to strengthen education and improve water supply in Liberia. We say many thanks to you for always joining our news broadcast. Thanks also to our entire news team here. On behalf of the entire team, My name is Anthony Kokoi. You can also visit our website at www.kmtvliberia.com for more news and information. You can also join us tomorrow on KMTV Sports Plus with me for more sporting developments. Until then, my name is Anthony Kokoi. Good night.